we start sewing the princess line, always make sure you've got your tension right on the machine and you've got your stitch length correct, everything. And also just do a little sample of the way these seams will be if they're not pulling or whatever. So I just want to briefly talk to you about the dog teeth. I'm just going to just bring this in here. Now, underneath here, the plate, there's this row of teeth, and they're called dog teeth, and they actually pull the fabric along when you're sewing. It will go through, okay? Now, of course, it pulls the bottom fabric, the bottom layer through it, because actually the bottom layers rest on these dog teeth, and that's how the operational machines, all machines are. Now, of course, you've got different sets of machines like walking foot, and they do a slightly different operation the way the dog teeth are. But this one, this usual lock stitch machine, this is the principle of these dog teeth. Okay, they pull the fabric through, so it kind of guides it through. Some machines will pull it through more than others, and some are more even. My machine originally, I had to change the dog teeth of these because you had a wave of the seam. It was too much for me, and because I'm using very lightweight wool fabrics, it wasn't really suitable. So I had to get my friend who's a sewing machine mechanic had to come and change the dog teeth for me. I wanted to show you how to handle the fabric. Usually the machine will guide it through, so you don't pull the fabric. I'm just going to bring it back out for you. So now you do not pull the fabric at all, never ever pull it. So you guide it. This is how you usually do. So you rest your hand, either hands on either side, and just let the machine will guide it through, okay, naturally. So you just don't start twisting it, just let it go through, and that's the usual way. Now that's fine, but the lighter weight fabric you have, the more heavier the fabric, it's fine, you don't get too much of a, but the bottom, you'll see a slight discrepancy between the top layer and the bottom layer because of the dog teeth. They try and get an even feed, but sometimes on some machines it's not. So you can see here there's a very fraction wave on the bottom, and that's usual anyway on a lot of fabrics because the dog teeth, remember, it's pulling it through. So to compensate that, on heavy fabrics you won't get that problem, but the lighter the fabrics are, the more problem you're going to have on the bottom layer and between the bottom layer and top layer. So I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to sew. So you can sew. If you've got a lightweight fabrics and you get that problem, which you probably invariably will, if you hold your bottom layer, don't pull it, just hold it slightly taut, and that will compensate for the dog teeth pulling it through. Leave the top layer as it is, just guide it through and have it together. So just sew your normal seam, but just have the bottom layer slightly taut. Yeah, the bottom layer, can you see? And just let it run through as normal, but you've got a slight tautness of the bottom layer. And the lighter weight fabric, the more lighter your fabric is, you will get a discrepancy. Keep that slightly taut, the bottom layer, and that's virtually perfect there. So that's one method you can do. Now another method I'm going to quickly show you. If it's really lightweight fabric, you will get more of a wave on the bottom layer. So you're going to have the fabrics slightly taut behind and on the bottom. Don't pull it, it will just compensate that dog teeth pulling it through. So both layers now, you're going to, on back behind the foot with the fingers, and on the bottom. Okay, I'm just going to just bring that just fractionally in. And it's slightly taut from, so you slightly from behind, slightly, you can't, I don't class it as pulling, just be slightly taut with the fabric behind and on the bottom here, just slightly. Now, you would do this on very lightweight fabrics because you will see the as I said, the discrepancy of the bottom layer, and that actually stops it from. So there we go. Okay, that's perfect. So just be aware of handling fabrics and the way you handle fabrics, and of course the lighter the fabric is, you're going to have more problems with the actual dog teeth pulling the fabric through. That's the way dog teeth are. That's the way these machines are. These basic lock stitch, well, they call it lock stitch machines. So always be aware of that, and you should be fine. Right, okay, let's move on to making the dress.